A very big welcome then to Guadalajara, Mexico for this 2016 World Judo Masters. Guadalajara, the second largest city in Mexico, and it's known for its tequila and its mariachi music. It plays host to this last world ranking event before Rio de Janeiro, and many of the world's best are here battling it out prior to the Olympics. And in this final session of the first day here in Guadalajara, we have all medal matches that we're just about to start with. In the under 48 kilograms category, that's our first one in. Your commentators are going to be myself, Neil Adams, and Sheldon. Franco Rooks has joined me. Sheldon, what an amazing night we've got in front of us.
Very good afternoon to you, Neil, and everyone at home. Yes, it is an exciting time indeed. And as Neil just said, all the medal matches here. We're going to start with Julia Figueroa of Spain. She faces Dilara Lokmanahim of Turkey. It'll be Figueroa in the white judogi, Lokmanahim in blue. And the referee in the control for this one is Vladimir Nutsibidze of Georgia. Neil.
Well, we've seen some great judo so far, and the atmosphere in this Lopez Mateo Sports Center is just amazing. I mean, the last time an atmosphere like this was in Brazil, if we were just talking about it.
These two fighters won't have experienced anything like this. This is as big as it gets. I mean, if they've been to Paris maybe, but you know, the Masters, there's just so much at stake here.
Well, Figueroa in white, Lokmanahim in blue. We were saying, weren't we, that Turk just a little bit outplayed in that semi-final.
A little bit.
Yeah, well, just more than a bit. Yeah, exactly. Big arm over the back now, though, and I think Figueroa is going to have a job. She'll trying to drop down for the Cianagi.
She's got that compact stature to her frame. Tough, hard-looking little fighter, whereas Lokmanahim slightly, taller, longer limbs.
Well, we're saying greater range, weren't we?
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. Using the range normally to get the big arm over the top, but she'll have to be careful with Figueroa because Figueroa will try and drop underneath for the Cianagi. So 2 bronze medal matches. This one will be followed by Jeong Byung-kyung of Korea and Mayana Cherniak of the Ukraine.
Slightly surprise package. We'll come to that anyway. We'll talk about how they got there. I don't think, for me, that Figueroa or Lokmanahim are surprises here. They've been, battling away for this whole qualification and period, and not only here in Guadalajara by right, but here in this bronze medal contest by right. These are 2 good fighters.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 good fighters on the fringe, I think. When we talk about the Olympic Games, on the fringe of causing upsets at the Olympic Games, and that's exactly what they can do. They've been consistent in the Grand Prix and the Grand Slams. So hips across there from Lokmanahim. Arm underneath and trying to get the hips across. Left against right, Figueroa right. Figueroa left, sorry, left-handed fighter.
Figueroa lost out in the quarter-final to the Japanese Kondo Ami, and then in the repechage contest defeated the former world champion Mungbat Rensetsing. That left the Mongolian in tears. And she fancied taking that one. Hey, that's going to happen.
Well, we said, didn't we, at the beginning of the day, what countries are going to be pleased with their performances so far, and I think Mongolia got to be up there.
Korea you mentioned as well.
Yeah,
South
Korea as well.
Single Shido against Figueroa at the moment. A little over 2 minutes left to go.
Well, look how they battle for the grip of the sleeve. Left against right. You have a job to get the sleeve. Both the right-handed fighter and the left-handed fighter do.
And remember, we were talking to Lokmanahim and her coach about that little ojigari where she just reaches that little bit too far over. Whoa, almost went over.
Beautiful there. Figueroa gets a left-handed uchimata and straight into the hold down.
Didn't see the danger in the osaikomi, in the potential osaikomi. She was hanging around on the ground for just that little bit too long and didn't turn. She was lucky to escape.
Well, for the people out there that don't know the scoring points. If you land on your side, it's got to be the upper part of the body making contact with the mat, and it has to be on the side, and that's a Yuko scored. If it rolls onto the points of the shoulders, it's a Wazari, and if you hit the ground with impetus, with force, with the points of the shoulders, it's Ippon.
Well, Lokmanakim's going to have to gather herself here. We may see her stretching for that Ouchigaru, using that right leg. My concern is that as she becomes more desperate, the gap between the players becomes bigger and bigger, and she runs the risk of getting countered. It's not the strongest of
well, I think
that
Figaro is beating her to it every time, isn't she? She's just moving the leg out the way and beating her to the punch every time.
Just getting the timing wrong, Lokmanakim, just falling off the pace here. Little over a minute left to go.
Well, that's another thing. Figaro beating her to the grip every time on that sleeve. So dominating the sleeve. That's the little Ouchigari there that Sheldon was talking about. Snakes the leg in. 46 seconds to go now. Just going to try and waste time. That's going to go into the Osai Komi, is it? Got the leg trapped. If the leg's trapped, the seconds won't count up. And 3 other ways of winning in judo, and that's by arm locking your opponent for a submission, strangling for a submission, or holding your opponent down on their back for just 20 seconds. But no entanglement with the legs allowed.
Well, it's not over yet, half a minute left to go, but Lokmanakim definitely in that desperation stakes.
Yeah, she's got to come forward now, Lokmanakim. And Figaro just defending now, just on defensive mode. 2 penalties up there. You can see the little yellow flags on your scoreboard. 4 of those and it's all over. Disqualification, so she can't afford another 2 of those. I think it's all over. First bronze medal then goes to Figaro.
See, my question to Lokmanakim would be whether she's, really disappointed at coming to the World Masters and ending up 5th place. I don't think so.
Well, no, and she's one that's progressed and really progressed over the period of qualification for the Olympic Games. And I think you're right. I think she will be happy that she's performed well. Figaro, of course, a bronze medal for Spain. So a great result for them.
I mean, what I really mean is she'll have to leave the mat, get herself ready, go back to the hotel, put her feet up, and then start asking herself, hey, 5th place. 5th place at the World Masters. That's not a bad result given where I want to be. Of course, Figaro is going to be that much happier. She's taken the bronze medal.
So the lightest weight category, under 48 kilograms, and Figaro of Spain wins the first medal. All bronze medal matches, 2 bronze medal matches, followed by the finals in every category. 5 categories tonight. There was the Uchimata that did it, and directly into the hold down, and Lokmanakim just manages to get out.
She just froze a little bit when she went into the ground. At this point, you've really got me think maybe I was a bit harsh there. On the replay, Figaro was pretty quick in getting into it, to be honest. I had the feeling initially that she just took too long to react. Maybe there when she was on her front, got to cover up. Anyway, luckily, no harm was done.
Yeah, it was quite a nice entry, wasn't it? Like I said, just dominated off the sleeve, managed to get underneath Lokmanakim, take her over onto her side, the decisive Yuko win.
Well, as Neil said earlier, we've got 2 bronze medal matches. The second of these features Jongbo Kyung of South Korea. She's up against Marina Cherniak of Ukraine. It'll be Jong in the white judogi and Cherniak in blue.
Well, if you have a look at the world rankings as well, Jongbo Kyung is world ranked 10 at the moment. Marina Cherniak ranked 15. Their world rankings will probably change. Now, a lot of these are trying to change their world ranking to get into the top 8 for the Olympic seeding. And that can make a massive difference when it comes to winning Olympic medals.
Jong Bo-kyung coming into the arena first, sporting a new close-cut hairstyle. Marina Cherniak with her trademark blonde ponytail. She's got a sister who's visually impaired, by the way. The sister, they're not twins, but they really look alike. And she was at the Games in London at the Paralympics. The sister.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? Yes, because I had commentated her. Yeah.
So that was
so
her.
Now that answers
sister.
a couple of questions. Zhong in white and Cherniak in blue.
And the referee in the middle for this one is Mr. Vostrikov from Russia, who's already seen enough. 15 seconds and he's decided, I want some action here.
Well, they've got to grip up, and that's the whole idea of that penalty there, is to make them grip up, take hold of the jacket, and to attack off it. Zhong, very quick with the drop Sianagi's, drop shoulder throws. She can go left and right, trying for the arm lock there. She was
nice,
almost
wasn't it?
there. Yeah, it was. It's a nice takedown for it.
Nice awareness. She moved very quickly from standing into groundwork and just missed out on getting hold of the arm.
Well, they're very nervous about catching hold of each other. Obviously, the whole idea, take the grip, attack off the grip. But they'll keep getting penalties. There's the drop shoulder throw there from Zhong. Good transition as well from standing down to ground. Big difference for our sport, of course, than jiu-jitsu is that we have the standing to ground split, and we are equal, I'd say, pretty equal with the standing work down to ground. At least we are more equal now. It was more predominantly standing. Oh, beautiful technique there from Zhong. And a drop Sianagi there just took her right the way over for a Wazari.
I was wrong, by the way, about them. Yes, about sisters, but they're twins.
They are twins.
Yeah, that's why they look alike. It's not always the case.
Look at that shoulder throw there. Beautiful
Yeah.
by Zhong. Wazari ahead against Cherniak.
That was a good score. Nice shape to that as well. Got herself into a good position. Not dissimilar in size and stature to, and that way,
well,
yes,
I'm sure that's
you have to
going to
look
be
at it.
on.
Well, we saw one earlier on. That was a lot, more controversial than that. But Cherniak here puts her flat on the back. What's the referee to do?
Yeah, well, it's exactly it. We're going to have a look at it back in slow motion. But Zhong attacked with the Sianagi again, the shoulder throw. And Cherniak just took her backwards and literally did put her onto the points of her shoulders.
We were just saying how good the last attack was. Well, that one, slightly off balance. Cherniak seized on it. And for me, that was okay because Vostrikov's standing on top of the action. He takes his time. He doesn't give it quickly. And he thinks, is this a counter? Yes. Is it? What's the value? Wazari or Ippon? She's flat on her back. I've got no choice. It's Ippon. And then he puts his hand up and that's it.
Well, we're going to see it now from several angles. Just have a look at how she drops in. And just a little bit too casual getting up. She gets taken cleanly onto her back. Here's a different angle from up above. Poor attack. Didn't exit and put flat on her back for the Ippon.
No doubt about it, was there? I mean, there is zero doubt about that. When she takes control of it, flat on her back, he's got no choice. And out. Well, 5th place for Zhong, but for me, a surprise bronze medal for Marina Cherniak.
I agree. It was surprise, but we've had a lot of surprises in this tournament.
Well, Cherniak knocked out Munkbat, the number 1 seed this morning, and then she does for Jong Bo-kyung. So she's had a terrific day, and she'll be absolutely delighted with that performance, which leads us nicely to the final. The final of the under 48 kilo category. Kondo Ami of Japan faces Sarah Menezes of Brazil. It'll be Kondo in white, Menezes in blue. Here's Neil Adams.
Wow, well, this could very easily be the final of the Olympic Games. It really could. We've got the current Olympic champion, Sarah Menezes, went a little bit off the boil, but now back to her very best. Kondo Ami of Japan, the former world champion. She was junior world champion and senior world champion in the same year. Went off the just off the boil a little tiny bit, and she gave her teammate a chance of going to the Olympic Games, of course, and just managed to overcome that, and she's now going to the Olympic Games. It could be the final of the Olympic Games.
The prelude.
A prelude, absolutely.
Jose Manuel Cortez of Spain is taking control of this one.
So Kondo in white, Menezes, and they've met once before. And I'm going to let Sheldon just give the details to that.
I might not remember.
I know you do.
It's a Grand Slam in Tokyo in 2013 when Kondo came out the winner there.
I have to say, though, that Kondo not quite back to her very best than that. She's struggled all day. If you can do that at the World Masters, don't forget this is the top 16 fighters in every category here. So it is the elite of the elite fighting each other. And, of course, Kondo is here. But she's got a very on form now, Menezes of Brazil.
Kondo defeated Menezes' teammate, Natalia Brigida, in her opening contest, and then went on to defeat Julia Figueroa in the quarterfinal, a Spanish fighter who we just saw take a bronze medal, and then in the semi-final defeated Marina Cherniak of Ukraine. So that was her route to the final. I'll give you the route to the final, seeing as we've got Bedenewaza. Menezes could be in trouble here.
Oh, that looks like Kondo has the hold down, and Menezes is in trouble.
Can't free the right shoulder. He's gone further into trouble now. The only chance is trapping that right leg. Left leg,
Look at Kondo there. Yeah. I mean, her toes are pointed there to try and keep the hold down, and the Olympic champion is being held down. And now it looks like it's going to go all the way. It's all over. Ippon to Kondo, and look how happy she looks about it.
A single slip in Nevaza was enough to let Kondo in. And if there is one country that you think could have a reasonable chance of escaping problems in Nevaza, it would be the Brazilians. Not this time around. Kondo it is who comes out on top, literally, with that Tatishio Gatami.
Well, it puts Japan up there in the lead, as we kind of suspected, didn't we, before this whole tournament started. And first gold medal goes to Japan, and a silver medal to Brazil.
Stadium announcer, Georgie and Dennis. Sounds like a comedy duo, just telling us that we're going to see some highlights, and here they are.
So it was a mistake there from Menezes. Stayed on her hands and knees too long, and Kondo was on her. She tied up the middle section. She did the lapel turn and got her in a hold. Tatishio Gatami, and look at her toes. Have a look at her toes here, because if Menezes takes that leg in between hers, then the seconds won't be counted. It breaks the hold down. But she manages to hold for the full 20 seconds. Gets the gold medal.
Kondo now 2 for 2 over Menezes. Right, we've got the medal contests in the under 60 kilo category coming up now. Ganbat Bolbatar of Mongolia, the number 1 seed here, faces Kim Won-jin of South Korea. It's Ganbat in the white judogi, Kim in blue. Here's Neil again.
Well, the number 1 and 2 seed here fighting for 3rd place. Such is the quality of this event. But we've seen some pretty incredible champions going out in the early stages of this. Takato, who I think is probably one of the favourites for the Olympic gold medal, went out first match to Vincent Lemaire in the final. And he's upset a few people en route, I can tell you.
He's having a terrific day, the Frenchman. We're going to see him. There is Kim Won-jin, followed by the former Olympic champion, Choi Min-ho, He won the under 60 kilo category in Beijing and moved smoothly into the coach's chair.
Former world champion Gambat, still ranked world number 1. Kim Won-jin, world ranked number 2, so they're going to go in seeded to the Olympics no matter what.
Nice head-to-head here.
Left to right as well, Sheldon, which again makes it awkward, doesn't it?
He's got that unusual build, Gambat. He's got a good size upper body frame for a 60 kilo fighter. He's short. He comes and he changed the direction there, lifted him up, tried to change it, but Kim Won-jin, I'm going to give him credit for realizing where he was going and turning off that.
Well, you can't stay in the same position for too long, not with the Mongolians. They have very unusual grips that come around the back, over the back, underneath the armpits. And, well, they can do traditional style grips as well, but a lot of their particular gripping strategies come from the wrestling styles in Mongolia. And you can see here, he's coming from so many different angles. Kim, who is a very traditional upright stance judoka, finding it difficult here.
Osako Akinobi, the referee in the middle, just dishing out that penalty to Kim Won-jin. It's a classy looking fighter, Kim.
Well, he pulls it out the bag as well. And he's got that Korean grip there of opposite lapel and then high lapel grip controlling the head. But at the moment, not working for him because Gambat then is taking the sleeve and then taking it down. Somebody's going to go here, I just get a feeling.
Penalty picked up by Gambat for an overly defensive posture. As Neil was pointing out, you can feel it at the end of his hands, and as a result of that, he just took that defensive posture. Then that time, Kim came a little bit closer to getting in a good attack, although Gambat was already shaping, put him up onto his hip.
Well, there's a couple of coaches there that done a little bit themselves. In a few battles.
Just slightly different weight categories. Marlon Yam, the big man, and Chae Min-ho. Well, they don't get any more smaller than Chae Min-ho, to be honest.
Looking all the time for the Uchimata, the way in between the legs. And you can see just hooked Gambat's leg there, just trying to find the right route in.
I think he might be better off with a combination rather than the full-blooded Uchimata, you know, because Gambat's felt it a couple of times, the Uchimata, and he might just go if he, you know, resists too strongly on the first one. Uchimata Ojigari, maybe.
Well, I think you're right, and all the time it's about finding the line. I think Gambat's going to get another penalty any second now. He's just not looking for the event. That was very close, wasn't it? Hips went across there.
Changed the grip, didn't he? Went up and around the collar there.
Back of the neck.
Just giving him a different look, a different feel in there, as Neil was saying, as the penalty picked up by Gambat.
So now it's up to him. He's got to take the initiative. He's got to come forwards. Kim's got to be careful of that. Oh, my goodness.
I think he heard you.
Yeah. Well, that was up and away, that was.
He's got good hips, hasn't he? Gambat. You get close to those and find yourself.
Well, they have great pickups, and it's all about being able to counter-attack as well as attacking direct.
Minute 20 odd. It's gone really quickly.
Well, it has, and considering there's still no score on the board other than the penalties, 3 penalties on there. Gambat has 2 of them, so he's losing the match.
And yet it hasn't at all been unattractive. It's been a really nice contest to look at. Just a couple of errors that have crept in, and that's the difference between the two. 2 penalties picked up by Gambat. Kim, just the 1.
Yeah, I think, we obviously the main aim of our sport is to score upon. That's the equivalent of the knockout in boxing, but it doesn't always happen. Sometimes we have to resort back to gamesmanship. It's about winning the match, and especially at this level, the very highest level. It's a game of chess. They're 2 or 3 moves ahead of each other, and they're just counteracting each move before it happens.
Yeah, very evenly balanced, this pair. Single slip, and that'll be it.
And I think Gambat there, a quick look at the scoreboard, just feels that it's slipping away from him.
Kim Won-jin is marked up already. You can see bruises and scratches all over his upper body. Oh, he's gone again. That was close.
Big Surigoshi. Hips go across. That big high grip of his, Sheldon, making such a difference here.
Second time that you shaped nicely over on that left-hand side. Oh, managed to turn off there as well.
Well, that was very close, wasn't it? Gambat almost turned that against Kim. And with 10 seconds to go, nearly stole the match with it.
You never see any motion on the face of Gambat. Always, deadpan. Kim just covering up there, seeing out the time.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, we all want to know, don't we, just a little bit about them, how they tick and what they're thinking. Of course, they're human, they're just, they have good days and bad days, just the same as everybody.
Well, Kim Won-jin will, I suppose, feel okay with today's work. He's come here, masters, taken a medal, he's on the podium. He'll get a slap on the back from Chae Min-ho, the coach. And maybe it's Gambat who'll just feel, I've missed out here. Because with the number of Mongolians that we had in there, and with Sendoche, who's actually their pick, going out to Urazboyev, he probably felt, yeah, he had a look at it, but it didn't work out that way. See what highlights they've been unable to unearth from this one. No, we're straight to the next contest. Okay. Well, the second of the bronze medal matches then features Dashtava Amatovzhin of Mongolia, another Mongolian taken to the mat now. He faces Walid Kaya of France. It'll be Dashtava in the white judogi, Kaya in blue. The two are meeting for the first time. Number 11 and number 21 on the world ranking list. Edison Minakawa is the referee in the middle for this one. And what have you seen of Dashtava or Kaya today? Anything?
Well, Kaya, I mean, he's one of these fighters, isn't he, that is one of these developing youngsters coming through, and he's very, what's the word for it? I mean, he has a little bit of panache, and he's got a bit of style with what he does. And, of course, I mean, we can see 3 Mongolians in this, just what depth they have. Here he is. This is Kaya, world rank 21, but that's from way back, just the last few tournaments, and he's come through very, very quickly.
He's on a steep climb, is Kaya. The only problem for him is that so is Vincent Lemar, his teammate. Both peaking at the same time, giving the French not a headache. That's the kind of headache that you want.
Well, you've got to say that Lemar, after this performance, now then, that's going to be a big score.
Remind you of anyone?
Well, absolutely. Well, it's Uranagi from the front. All right, for the people looking in, they didn't have a name for it at the beginning. Then they decided to put it into the Uranagis. Uranagi is a massive pickup. You can do it from behind, and now they've decided you can do it from the front as well. It's a mixture between Uchimata and Uranagi. And Dashtava is a Wazari ahead.
Kaya is the kind of fighter who gives the impression of being completely unfazed about what's on the scoreboard. A terrific position to be in. He just goes with what's at the end of his hands.
Just one problem at a time, isn't it, with them? And I don't think that Kaya is playing the game. He's playing right into Dashdevar's game, and he's getting close. I certainly wouldn't want to pull into the centre there.
I mean, that last exchange there, you've gone over once. The guy is obviously good at this technique. Don't give him a second chance to bring it off. Have another look. Let's see something else.
It's a bit like trying to beat Mike Tyson at toe-to-toe.
Yeah, slug it out with him.
You'd only do it once.
Little over 3 minutes to go. Dashdevar with a good lead. Wazari having scored pretty early on and looking dangerous.
Yeah, no crossover, no Newaza transition.
Yeah, these are big throwers, aren't they?
Yeah, want to stand up. The transition people, they're the ones that hunt for the Newaza as well. They hunt for the groundwork.
France, too, can be reasonably happy with their day's work, I think.
Well, I think so. Kaya fighting for a medal, and of course they've got Vincent Lemaire in there in that final.
And then immediately after that, you've got Annabelle Urani fighting for a bronze medal as well. So
some of their very best not in, of course, in heavyweight division. We know that Renair's not here, but even so, some of these countries just sorting out domestics to see who will go to the Olympic Games. They've got 2 fighters in the same weight category in the qualification zone, and it's up to the country then as to who they send. We were talking about it earlier, and it's normally the one that will perform best at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, it need not necessarily be the person placed highest on the IJF World Ranking list.
He's looking for that, isn't he? He's trying to do the same to him, and well, that's got to be a Yuko surely. No, Wazari. Wazari Wazeti upon Dashdevar. Takes it against Kaya. Kaya went for it, didn't he?
A soft score in the end, but 2 scores on the board. A nice helping hand up from Dashdevar for a spirited effort from Walid Kaya. Well, we're still looking for the word to describe Walid Kaya. There's something about the boy, isn't there? There's something about him. I'm not going to say cocky, but you know, he knows that he's got something.
No, we're going to see a lot more of him, certainly in the 2020 build-up and the 4 years prior to, I think. He's going to be one for Tokyo, but still here at the World Masters here and gaining in experience. Dashdevar did it, though, to Wazaris, and he goes and he wins Mongolia's bronze medal. First medal up for Mongolia. Really went for it here, and well taken. It was a bit soft, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of the softest makikomis that you see, but this is unavoidable for giving up a score, because here is his intention. As soon as he wraps the arm up, you know he's intending to do that. That's different from a little push down. It's not the best score ever, but that was his intention. Wrap the arm up, take him over the leg, and over he goes. He sits in on his backside first, but he's gone over, and that's why there isn't the full ippon. He gets to Wazari, and having scored Wazari previously, that's the end of it.
Well, we've got the cracking final just about to happen. It really is going to be all action. I'm almost sure of it. There was the first, the Uranegi from the front. Brilliantly taken, and look at the grips. Nothing traditional about that grip.
No. Yeah, it's unusual. The finish is unusual because he's between his legs. And normally the makikomi, you know, both legs would be on the other side. You'd have him wrapped up. But he ended up in the middle. But he ended up in nice control of the top half. He did end up by putting him down on his back, and that was the score. Right, we come to the final of the under 60 kilo category. Orkan Safarov of Azerbaijan faces Vincent Lemar of France. It'll be Safarov in the white judogi, Lemar in blue.
Well, these two, what a day, both having beaten just incredible champions. Takato, first match to Lemar beat him, then he beat Urazbayev, then it was Kim Won-jin in the semi-final, in the quarter-final, sorry, in the semi-final, and in this final, here he is against Safarov.
We've got another Mongolian in the middle, this time Mashbat Bukbat, the referee.
And what a good referee. I mean, just absolutely, he's doing such a good job out there.
Can't keep them down, can you?
Well, no, I think the thing is, a lot of these referees here, these are all the #1 referees. They've been out on tour for the last 4 years. They virtually live together. So good job by them. At least everybody's on the same page.
What a turnout for Lemar. I have to say that of all the medalists, this for me is the biggest surprise.
Well, if you'd have asked me at the beginning of the day that this was going to be the final, who would I fancy? I would have said Safarov.
Yeah.
But I'm not so sure about this now because Lemar really believes it.
He's on fire today. Really is. Terrific performance. You've just seen his teammate lose that bronze medal contest. The incentive here, I wouldn't say it was double, but you know, you've got to have that edge.
Well, I mean, they're obviously under a lot of pressure because the French have sent Kaya and also Lemar for a reason. Lemar's in the final. He's the higher ranked, world ranked 15, and Kaya is world ranked 21. So it looks to me like Lemar might get the nod.
Proof of the pudding, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and especially if he wins this.
Yeah, yeah.
Massive world ranking points for a gold medal here. 700, is it 700?
700, yeah.
700 world ranking points. And don't forget that qualification for under 60 is probably around about the 1,000 point mark. So you've got 3/4 of your points just in this one event.
It's hard to say that he's emerged in this one tournament, but he just looks so good. He looks so sharp.
Yeah, and there's belief there as well. Right against left, but Safarov just falling a little bit behind. And you can tell by the look on Safarov's face that he just looks a little bit afraid to commit here against Lemar.
You know, a win here makes all the difference to Lemar. He could end up in a seeding position.
Well, exactly, and that's exactly what he's after. He probably will, actually. 700 points will take him from 15. We'll have an assessment. We'll try and assess it afterwards, but it could possibly put him in the top 8.
So Safarov is up at 11. He's on 1,300. So whether he wins or loses here, he'll pick up points. But both of them could end up, you could knock out Ibraev and Urazbayev, although Dashtova has made things difficult. He's on 1,400. He's going to go up. So very, very difficult to break into that top group.
Well, very cagey stuff here from Safarov and Lemar. Neither really committing, just over halfway of the contest. 5-minute contest for the men, 4 minutes for the ladies. Went for the Uchimata there, and then he changed it to the Ouchigari, Safarov.
He hasn't had an opportunity yet for that little Sernagi, has he, Lemar?
Well, he gets a Yuko for that. He goes ahead. We have a video referee and 2 judges that are working with the referee out in the middle there. And if there's anything that is just a little bit, not controversial, but needs another look at, then it goes to video referee just off the mat. And they can overrule the referee's decision. So have a look at that. Safarov did the Uchimata, and he just took Lemaire. I think that's a little bit close to the mark as far as I was concerned. I didn't think it was a Yuko, but that's my own opinion.
Well, I haven't got one of those badges, but I'm going to venture an opinion anyway. I didn't think it was a Yuko. He squeezed that one out, and I wouldn't have been given it. That's unusual. We've got Mr. Seisenbacher in the chair.
Peter Seisenbacher in the chair there for Azerbaijan, the double Olympic gold medalist back in 84 and 88. Uchigari! Yes, it's going to be another Yuko. That one, no surprise this time. This time from Lemaire, was it? Or was it from Safarov? No, it was Safarov again on Lemaire. And he pulls the midsection in, drives him onto his side there. Now you can see quite clearly that that was a Yuko.
Yeah, they're going to say that
wow,
Lemaire countered him on the way down.
It was all Safarov. And this is where the video referee comes into play, and for sure it's got to be Safarov. Safarov committed. Uchigari, he drove, and it's either got to be Safarov or nothing, and it is Safarov.
Yeah.
If they land together, they can just say, well, no score to either.
Lemaire in some trouble now because he hasn't had an opening. He hasn't had a single opening for that little Ippon Seoinage, and that's where he's been dangerous today. Scored 3 times with that today, and Safarov, I'm not sure whether the style has negated that or whether he's been able to close it down, but he hasn't even attempted it.
No, you're absolutely right. He hasn't had a way in, has he? Not a way in at all. Safarov playing a really good tactical game, closing that Seoinage down.
See, he wants to go across there with the left arm. He's got the right hand on the lapel. He wants to go underneath there and turn, but for some reason he's just blocked out at every point.
Safarov's going to get a penalty here for sure, blocking out.
Yeah.
Can't afford one more, but he's got 6 seconds to go. Can't afford a drop.
He nearly took one there.
Well, he did, didn't he? But Safarov, well deserved. Two scores in the end. Still a great result for Vincent Lemaire, though. Safarov, big grin on his face. World Masters, my goodness, if you'd have said for the gold medalist at the beginning of today, would you have said Safarov for gold?
No, I didn't pick him, even though he was, one of the top 4 seeds. I thought that he would possibly have trouble with Lutfilayev of Uzbekistan. Well, that never came about because Oslu did for Lutfilayev in round 1. Walid Kaya I thought would prove tricky. Ganbat was up there. There were a few people who I thought could trouble him. In the end, he troubled them. Orkan Safarov takes the gold medal in the under 60 kilo category. Let's see what highlights they've been able to unearth from this one.
Well, we'll be able to see the first landing. Here comes the first one. Both of them went down together, and then it was, I think, a belated turn from Lemaire.
After the event, yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit after the event there. It should have been Safarov or nothing, but everything initiated by Safarov. Look how he pulls the midsection in, drives off that back leg. Exactly the same for this second one as well.
I think we've got an awarding ceremony coming up. Indeed we have. Let's go down to the far end of the competition hall and let's see the lineup for the medalists in the under 48 kilo category.
Two bronze medalists then. Julia Figaro, Spain. Mariana Sheniak of the Ukraine.
Got a height difference.
Yeah, we're talking about that, weren't we? About the difference in height, how it makes a difference. Silver medal, Sarah Menezes, the Olympic champion. Still a smile on her face. Don't see that very often, actually, I have to say. And Kondo Ami of Japan.
See, I think that's a good sign that she's taken a silver and she's smiling. Because Neil was talking earlier on about when you peak, what's in your plan, where are your preparations. And if she said, I want to be on the podium for the Masters in the lead up as part of my preparation to Rio, where I'm going to end up on the #1 spot, then she's achieving the goals that she sets. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Of course, if she wanted to be a gold medalist here, well, you know, she's missed out.
It's better the dress rehearsal, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You can iron out all that you want beforehand. When that day comes, that's going to be the important thing. And they're all getting a sombrero.
Should be an interesting plane journey back.
And look, Kondo's already laughing because she realises that her hat's going to be as big as she is. Look, and he's putting the sombreros on the fighters. Look at Menezes. The embarrassment is writ large all over her face. Oh well, you know what they say, when in Rome. Well, in this case, it's when in Guadalajara. Kondo's had enough of that. He's not going to mess my hair up. And now the national anthem of Japan. There was the possibility this morning that there'd be a complete wipeout for the European athletes in this weight category. However, you had two fighters that stepped up and made it interesting, Julia Figueroa and Marina Cherniak, and actually, to me, they were both surprised. I thought Charlene Van Snick maybe would have been there to give, you know, Europe some representation, but we're missing out on Paola Pareto, the Argentinian. She could have, you know, pushed one of the Europeans out, and there would have been one other as well. That would have been Munkbat, and it would have been clean sweep. But there you go, Figueroa and Marina Cherniak snuck up there and picked up their sombreros.
Kondo gold, Menezes second. Like you said, you just I like the way it's just the medals are being split worldwide. You know, it's a lot of medals from a lot of different continents, and that's good for judo.
That was a happy podium.
It was,
You know, you normally have one who is so dejected that you feel sorry for them. But I get the feeling that this was a run out, it was a test, it was absolutely strong test. It doesn't get any tougher than this. This was really, really a tough competition, and everybody that made it to that podium really feels pleased. Good to see.
We're going to go back to the ladies categories now. It's going to go like that all the way through. Under 52 kilograms, bronze medal match. Annabelle Urani of France against Erika Miranda of Brazil.
And the referee in the middle for this one is Vladimir Nidka of the Czech Republic. It'll be Urani in the white judogi and Miranda in blue. And there is Erika Miranda. Well, if everything is focused on Rio, then why shouldn't we have a Brazilian on the mat? Let's see how she gets on here. Urani, I think, is going to be a tricky opponent. Physically, got to be one of the oddest in height and size, and he was talking about them being rangy.
Well, so typical of French as well. The French style of judo, very one-sided, and they like that big arm over the top to dominate the head and the upper part of the body, and just snaking that leg through there. And we've seen Urani do that so many times, and she gets so many scores from it as well.
Took time out to have a family, and one of just a few fighters who've been able to take time off, have a baby, and come back and then fight at the very highest level. I suppose most famously was in the same weight category, the under 52 kilo category fighter from China, Shang Dongmei, who won the Olympic Games in Athens, took time out, had a baby, came back and won in Beijing. How's it look? Easy as you like.
Fantastic. Well, you know, like you say, it's difficult because when you get a family, it kind of changes the whole outlook of everything. But I heard that Urani decided that she was just going to have another go just for the pleasure of it, and then realized that she could beat the rest. And here she is.
That is absolutely the way it went. She just fancied having a go at a loose end, in a way, you know, I'll give it a go. Next stop, Rio. Mind you, it hasn't all been plain sailing. You know, she has been pushed all the way.
Well, Urani had to come through. She lost in the quarterfinals. This double repechage, by the way, double repechage, you have to get to the quarterfinal stage to stand any chance of a medal. If you lose before, you're out of the competition. If you lose in the quarterfinals, you come through and you do a final repechage match. Urani had to do that against Gilly Cohen of Israel. If you lose in the semi-final stage, you automatically come down. You fight the opposite side then for third place, and you don't have to do a final repechage match.
2 penalties picked up by Miranda. That's going to cause us some real problems here. You know, psychologically, you're looking at the scoreboard, you've got 2 penalties. It's not a score, but you feel, you know, that there's something against you, and she's going to have to start pushing the boat out a little bit here. Urani comfortable.
Yeah, just over halfway as well, this contest.
I was talking about Urani having been, you know, pushed during the qualification period, and that pushing came from the Olympic bronze medalist, Priscilla Neto, who picked up a knee injury today when she went out in her opening contest. So that really is that, I'm afraid. Second time around for Priscilla Neto, who also has a sister, Astrid Neto, in the same weight category, who's on that upward climb. She's going to be a handful as well.
So looking to snake that leg in, Urani, and then she hops through for the Uchimata, and Miranda just trying to keep her at bay, keep her away. Tries the drop Seoinage, Urani on top, into the last minute.
So it's a good position for Urani here. She's safe, she's got the guard. Miranda's not going to get past her legs. We've already said just how strong and awkward a fighter Urani is, and this is just playing into Urani's hands. You want to be up and out of there, where she's, with the greatest of respect, she hasn't got age on her side. She's in her 30s now, you know, and you don't want to be going into the last minute of the contest with, you know, a fighter pressing on you. It's just not what you want. And unfortunately, she lost out about 25, 30 seconds in that last exchange.
Coming up to the last 20 seconds, Urani just holding off, still trying to get that arm over the top. Look how awkward she is when she does it. Just turns away from her opponent. Miranda can't break through the defense.
Last go here. This is it. Throw everything at it. You might as well. Didn't have it. There wasn't enough left in the tank even to come up with a weak attack. She's still battling to try and get past the grips, and it's Annabelle Urani of France who takes the first of the bronze medals in the under 52 kilo category. They're going to be going back with a hatful, aren't they? So to speak.
I think that, yes. And it might just be a sombrero hatful.
Go back with a sombrero full. Oh dear. It's going to be one of those afternoons, isn't it? I shall try to refrain from any further puns, seeing as that one didn't work at all. Here's Urani, some highlights.
Well, she looks very pleased about that. She knows, obviously, the Neto Urani saga. It's been up and down for both of them, but that well-deserved medal might just put her ahead.
Yeah, I think that door's shut now, isn't it? Right. Second of the bronze medal matches in the under 52 kilo category coming up now. Odette Giuffrida of Italy faces Andrea Kitsu of Romania. It'll be Giuffrida of Italy in white, Kitsu in blue, and the referee in the middle for this one is Vincent Drouot of France.
Kitsu of Romania, here she is, and well, Giuffrida having some good form of late, but a lot of drop techniques from Giuffrida. Kitsu, one of the most consistent in the category.
Who was it that gave their opponent a little bit of a foot tap this morning? It was did Kim Won-jin? Did Kim Won-jin fight? Who was it that he was up against? Limar. Yeah. Kim Won-jin gave, no, it was Limar who gave Kim Won-jin a little bit of a foot tap. Kim Won-jin gave him one back and he just collapsed at the time.
It was what I call a thundering ashiwaza.
Yeah. And I just saw Giuffrida dish one out to Kitsu there, and Kitsu gave her one back. So that's done and dusted now. We can leave that one alone.
They say it's different when you train women. Well, it definitely is. I can tell you now, it's different when you train women. There's a different mentality going in there. The guys, well, they can have a go for 5 minutes and still drink a pint at the end of the day, but it doesn't quite work like that with the women.
No love lost then.
Just a little bit of a difference, I think, between the mental approach. My wife has a name for it, but I'm not going to say it over on air.
We'll leave that one then. No score yet, just a little under 3 minutes left to go. Giuffrida just dancing around a little bit, trying to stay active. Don't want to be caught flat-footed by Kitsu, who's got some nice throwing techniques.
Yeah, she just flops and drops just a little bit too much for me, Giuffrida. She needs to keep hold with the hands, make sure that she gets the kazushi, the pulling hand, and the sakuri hand, the lapel hand, working all the way through. Kitsu as well, it has to be careful of the flop and drop. No penalties so far, though.
Yeah, he's left it up to them to deal with it. That was a reasonable thought from Giuffrida. Wasn't able to bring it off. It's the kind of thing that you'd expect a Korean to be able to bring off and score with, but that time it was beyond Giuffrida's ability, I'm afraid. Slightly embarrassed at the end as well.
So just up to the halfway mark. And there was the Ouchigari that we talked about, slight different direction to where the head is, and normally the technique will follow the head. But that's what catches a few people out. Giuffrida turns the head to the left and then just hooks the inside of the leg.
Just sold Kitsu there, didn't she?
Oh, and she's going to score with that one. Wazari scored. Brilliant technique. And Kitsu couldn't do anything about that.
Kitsu got wrapped up in her own efforts for Uchimata, and it was Giuffrida who capitalized on her being in a poor position. We'll see it on the replay again.
Looking for the Sodi Jimmy there as well, which is a strangle with your own jacket. So yeah, it was Uchimata Sakeshi, and it means that she caught Kitsu with her own technique. Kitsu tried the Uchimata, and Giuffrida countered with the same technique. Not over yet though, very determined Kitsu. She'll go for the strangle, she'll go for the submission. Well, a little look at her hand there, just some nice teeth marks in it.
Yeah, half a dozen, 6 of one, you know, that kind of thing.
It's, you know, well, she did put her hand in my mouth. Yeah.
If that happens, you're going to end up with teeth marks, aren't you?
"52 seconds left. One Wazari on the board. Giuffrida of Italy, the winner, the leader, should I say.
I don't think Kitsu can have any complaints. Kitsu was attempting to apply the shimiwaza. If you're applying the shimiwaza around the throat, you're not going to get any teeth marks. You get teeth marks when it's across the face. You know?
True.
So, no complaints there. Not unless you've got, you know, teeth around your throat. 27 seconds left to go. Single Shido picked up by Kitsu. That's not going to come into it at the moment. It's Wazari lead for Giuffrida as the clock runs out and Giuffrida bails out of that effort. She's going to take a penalty for a drop here.
Now she's on the run. She'll get another penalty for that.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, no-handed techniques don't work.
She knows she's got the possibility of a third now. Well, it's Kitsu gets run out of the area there. Oh, yeah, you're right, Neil. They don't like each other.
No love lost here. Kitsu gets the second penalty for just walking out of the area. Remember, they have to stay within that yellow area. It's going to be all over. 10 seconds. Another possible penalty going to go to Giuffrida if she runs too much. All over now, though, and Giuffrida gets the bronze.
Dario Romero is going to have a word with her when she comes off. He's not entirely happy with the antics at the end. But hey, it's a win. And a bronze medal for Adet Giuffrida of Italy, defeating the #1 seed as well.
Yeah, always there around about Kitsu, but like I say, it's the better here than...
Oh,
and well, no love lost there. My goodness me. Don't very often see that. Big smile on Giuffrida's.
You know, you see, in a way, you leave your opponent with the bragging rights, don't you? Because they were coming up there, handshake, nope, I'm off. Okay. You know, as you wish. It's not compulsory. There isn't anything compulsory about handshake, so you didn't have to, but it's customary.
It is customary, and even when you've lost, and you know, there was nothing.
Wasn't that
she
bad,
did lose. She lost by a Wazari, you know, so it was a fairly big score. It wasn't as though it was just on penalties.
That's the
anyway, I don't think they'll be drinking together tonight.
Not tonight, Josephine. That was the Uchimata Sakeshi, and there the happy smiley face for you.
Yes.
We come now to the final of the under 52 kilo category. Natalia Kozyutina of Russia faces Nakamura Masato of Japan. It'll be Kozyutina in the white judogi, Nakamura in blue. And there's a little bit of previous between these. 6 times they've gone head to head, and it's 4-2.
Wow. Well, that's, the thing is about the 4-year period where you have qualification for the Olympic Games. It's not just here, of course, it's 4 years previous, and these have met on 6 occasions. It could be the 7th at the Olympic Games, and wow. Some of them, I can tell you now, have fought each other 16 times. Some of the world's best in certain categories, and that amount of head-to-heads is tremendous amount. Means that you know your opponent, means they know you.
Referee in the middle for this one is from China, Mr. Wang Go-Chao. Kuziyutina in the white judogi faces the current world champion. Tall order for Kuziyutina, I think.
I think so too, and I think this is where it's going to be decided. I think that Kuziyutina will be okay if she's attacking in the newaza, but she cannot stay on hands and knees at any one occasion. I think Nakamura will be on her. Strong fight for grips. That's why we wear the kimono, the jackets and the trousers. You're not allowed to grip anything below the belt line, so they can't do that. It's got to be all above the belt line, and it's got to be the jacket.
That wasn't bad, was it? Little shape to that. Yoko Sutemi wasn't maybe a Sumigaeshi thought from Kuziyutina. Nice movement.
Yeah, nice change of direction.
I mean, we're looking for the slightest things here, because it's perfectly possible that it will be the slightest thing that will be the difference between them.
Trying to dominate the sleeves here. You can see that they're on the sleeves. Ashiwaza from Nakamura. Nakamura directly on top. Didn't want to know. Didn't have the grip she wanted. Have a look at the ashi there. So Diashibarai almost, not quite, got her onto her side.
Again, the slightest things, the ability to get past Nakamura's grips and get around the back just for that split second when you've got an attacking opportunity. These are all things that she can go back and look at and think, right, these may be areas that I can work harder on and maybe put Nakamura under some pressure.
Well, the most important thing for me always when fighting the Japanese, their style of judo, you've got to outgrip them. So if they dominate the grip, they dominate, and they just initiate the technique. So you've got to try and outgrip them. Easier said than done, by the way. Here we go. Now this could be dangerous because Nakamura tying the arm up didn't quite have the angle of approach there for it. But she has a turnover there into a hold down.
She just managed to get her hip turned, the Kuziyutina, and turn onto, the backside, so the turnover wasn't possible. Otherwise,
well, Kuziyutina certainly felt it, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Sori Komigoshi there from Nakamura.
Minute and a half left to go. Nicely in the balance here. Just that single Shido picked up by Kuziyutina.
Well, she's not getting any rotation on that, Nakamura. She's going to get a penalty here, I think.
The feet didn't move.
Not at all. So a Shido each.
That's an upstairs. Mechanics not working.
Well, again, it's not dominating the grips. If she dominated the grips, she'd get the rotation she wanted. Kuziyutina has to concentrate on that sleeve grip. Ashiwaza is going to be a score. Wazari scored. And Nakamura directly into the hold.
Yoko Shiogutami, absolute favourite. Just the Yuko. It's been downgraded to the Yuko. Okay, but it's not going to make any difference there because you ain't getting out of this.
Yoko Shiogutami, Nakamura, the world champion, holds.
Just
And
an unusual execution there, just to point out. Just lying on one hip, covering the top, rather than spreading out in the traditional way. Neil?
Well, it's readjustment of balance, isn't it? And that's the big thing about any kind of hold downs. If your partner's struggling one way or the other, you readjust the balance in order to counteract their balance. Easy win there for Nakamura, the world champion.
Now, for me, the important thing is we've seen Nakamura do this on 2 previous occasions. She gets absolutely everything right in the lead up to the Olympic Games, and then come the Games, something goes wrong. It went wrong in Beijing, although she did come away with a bronze medal. It went disastrously wrong in London when she got knocked out in the second round, and both occasions she lost to Anne Comey. And now you've got a third effort here in Rio. I've got good news for her though. Anne Comey is retired.
Well, that's lucky for her, and well, come to form certainly at the right time. Her persistence. She's the reigning world champion, and there's Kazutina there, can't do anything about it. There's the unusual form of Yoko Shiogotami. Readjustment of hips, readjustment of balance. This is the Ashiwaza that started it. Wazari scored from that, just rolled her onto her back. And
she almost went in to the Yoko Shiogotami from there. The position was just, on the way down, she's shaping for the Osaikomi. There's a look at the crowd in the venue. I can't remember the name. He was talking about the Lopez Matillo.
Lopez Matillo Sports Centre here, and the atmosphere, amazing.
Right, we come now to the awarding ceremony in the under 60 kilo category. I think Neil's got the names lined up there.
I have bronze medals, Kim Won-jin of Korea, Dash Devar of Mongolia. They're the bronze medalists. Good win over Kaya, Dash Devar.
So you can't tell any disappointment from the bronze medalists because they've both come off as winners. It's normally when you look at the silver medal winner, and there's no way, zero chance, that Vincent Lemar is going to be disappointed with that finish. Silver medal at the World Masters, super effort from him.
I've had a couple of those silver medals. I could tell you it's not the best feeling in the world.
I didn't mean to bring it up. I'll take it all back.
Orkham Safarov then
he's got to be happy.
Gets the gold.
Top
wow.
man.
And it was 2 great scores. I thought that was a great score. I really did. Very, very, very close.
Yeah.
Almost counted.
Neil makes a good point here. Until Lemar lands, he doesn't make a turn. Now, if he makes a turn in the air, see, he's still landing. Now he turns. That's why Safarov gets that score. If there's any movement in the air and he's looking as though he's taking over that technique, he'll get that score. Didn't happen. And I thought Lemar had scored. On that that's why they've got the video replay. When you see it on that replay, you can't argue that was Safarov's score. That was a good score from Safarov. And my colleague picked it out just from seeing it. Well done. I think they've just decided to hand them the sombreros rather than put them on their heads. Yeah, I mean, it's okay with that wreath that you get in, the Olympics, isn't it? That wreath.
You know what? I'd have to wear it. I just to see.
Take that hat off. Anyway, going to make interesting packaging on the flight back home. Yeah,
yes, exactly.
Full of sombreros. Now the national anthem of Azerbaijan. Aren't you glad that you don't have to put up with that kind of bruising on your face anymore?
I'm really glad that it doesn't happen anymore.
And then when you get one on your cheek, you can't shave there. You know,
Well, the odd time when I do a little bit of randa, wake up and I can't get out of bed, that does it for me.
Right, let's have a look at the 4 medal winners then. Dashnava and Kim took bronze medals. Lemar a silver, but it was Orkan Safarov of Azerbaijan. There's the lineup there who took the gold medal. And a nice, happy group. They've got some cash, they've got some medals, and of course, they've got their sombreros.
And of course, world ranking points that will possibly seed them slightly higher for the Olympics.
It's going to be a good group.
2 more weight categories still to come then. Under 66 kilograms for men, under 57s for ladies.
Now, unfortunately, in the next of the medal contest, the first of the bronze medal matches, Golan Polak was due to face Kamal Khan Magomedov, the Israeli Polak, and the Russian Khan Magomedov. However, Kamal Khan Magomedov received a direct disqualification in his previous contest with Davadoj Tumerkeleg. So, having been given a direct hand sokomake, a direct disqualification, he's out of the competition. Golan Polak will be asked to step on to the tatami, take the bow, and he'll walk away with the first of the bronze medals. So that's why it looks a little bit odd. Jose Manuel Cortez was the referee for that one. Not really called to do a great deal there.
You got it right.
It was a good job, wasn't it? He's a good man. No mistake about that.
Well, it was an unfortunate incident, wasn't it? But it was just an attack that didn't quite go right. But,
unintentional,
yes,
but untidy.
Exactly.
We come to the second of the bronze medal contest, and this time we are going to have a matchup, and it'll be Nijat Shikalizada of Azerbaijan. He faces Sergiu Olienic of Portugal. With Shikalizada in the white judogi, Olienic in blue, and the referee in the middle for this one, Jose Manuel Cortez. I've seen him before.
Yes, exactly. He's been there. Well, Shikalizada 2-1 up in their head-to-heads here, so this is the 4th time that they will have met. Shikalizada has had a good day, actually, and several times when we thought maybe he would just lose momentum in the latter half of the contest, he's just dug in and got a score when it really mattered. Here he is, most dynamic fighter, certainly in the first part of the contest. And Olienic of Portugal also having a great day. Lost in the semi-final to An Bull of Korea. Shikalizada had to fight Tekajo for the repechage final and was the winner in the end. And that was a late attack that did it. There's the Sodi Surakomi Goshi, so dangerous off the sleeve. Shikalizada. Well, 3 attacks there, Sheldon, all within a space of about 10 seconds.
Well, the important thing that Neil's pointing out here is that Olienic really has to weather this storm. You know, it's a minute and a half, 2 minutes that he's really going to have to be at his best defensively, whilst at the same time trying to put a score on the board, because Shikalizada is notorious for getting it done, over and done with fairly quickly, or bowing out in minutes.
I mean, he is. He's the knockout merchant, isn't he? He really is. You could call him that. The boxing equivalent, but strong fight for grips now. Olienic just managing to contain the sleeves of Shikalizada. Shikalizada has one little look at his own sleeve being dominated, as if to say, how dare you?
That wasn't part of the plan, was it?
It wasn't. Olienic gets the penalty. Don't quite get that. I thought they both should have got it, but nevertheless, one of them got it. So now they've got to attack. About 20 to 30 seconds, although I have to say it's been going a little bit longer in some of the contests. from 30 to 40 seconds without attacking before they get a Shido penalty on the board.
Yeah, they gave them some leeway, didn't they?
When they first introduced the rule, it was 10 to 20 seconds, and they were giving them out very, very easily. And now they've
too much.
Well, yeah, just a little bit too much. Two minutes gone. Shikalazada again. Well, Peter Seisenbacher in the chair for the Azerbaijan team.
Again?
Yeah, again.
He's not always in there.
No, he's not. I mean, he's more a director of coaching, really, in Azerbaijan.
He decided to step in.
Yoko Satemiwaza there from Alianic.
He did a good job with Orkan Safarov, didn't he?
He did. And another medal here, of course, looks good for him. World Masters. And a lovely Tayatoshi this time from Shikalazada. Well, when he commits, Shikalazada, he really commits. He goes for the ippon. One minute 38, two penalties now to Alianic. Well, we haven't seen any of the coaches removed. Quite often they are. If they're shouting advice while they're actually fighting, they can be told to be quiet. If it carries on, they remove them.
We haven't seen Shani yet.
No, we haven't. It's true.
He hasn't made an appearance yet.
Another drop Sianagi there, Shikalazada, coming up to the last minute. Alianic has to take the initiative here, has to attack. Beautiful Yoko Tominagi from Shikalazada. So a third penalty for Alianic. Off the pace completely. Well, I am impressed, I've got to say. Shikalazada has the best condition I've seen him in.
Yeah.
And, you know, coming into a World Masters, good time to do it.
To me, there wasn't any stage where... Look how quickly he was back up onto his feet there. There was no stage when he looked underprepared. And do you know something? There was one thing that you can say about Seisenbacher with the Georgian team when he was there. They could go for 5 minutes.
Well, he made them train, didn't he? I mean, and such is the way that they approach their training methods, you could say. I mean, a lot of it comes from the actual wrestling itself, but the physical side of it, they didn't do as much as, but now a lot more. And
that's changed.
No, this Azerbaijan team, exactly the same. They look in better condition.
And then that last cycle, when Alianic had his back up to the mat edge, it was Shikalazada who was giving him a push out. He still had enough energy to rough him up. This is completely different shape Azerbaijan team. And what happened when Seisenbacher went to Georgia was that he took a team that could already do judo and made them fit. That's why they had that success. And now with Azerbaijan, maybe he's about to get the timing right here. If he gets the timing right and they end up in London, not only with their judo skills to the fore, but fully fit, they're going to be pretty much unstoppable.
Well, without a doubt, they'll be up there, won't they, contesting the medals.
Shikalazada it is who takes the second of the bronze medal contest in the under 66 kilo category. We had that walkover, didn't we, with Golan Polak. And now Shikalizada will join him on the podium. A second medal for the Azeris, and Saizi's having a bit of a day, isn't he?
He is. I mean, obviously it's a plan just coming together.
He's very softly spoken, is Shikalizada. I had an interview with him and he was really quiet chap. Well, unfortunately, we've got a second scratch, if you like, and this one comes about as a result of the bronze medal contest that we were talking about that didn't happen, and that was Kamal Khan Magomedov attempted to throw Davidosh Temurkeleg, damaged his arm, and as a result of that, Davidosh can't take part in this final. And Baul of South Korea it is, who will step out, the current world champion, to take the gold medal without having to take part. It's none of his doing, it's not his fault. He fancied another fight, but there being no opponent, Davidosh Temurkeleg having damaged his arm, he gets a walkover and the gold medal, which takes us neatly to the awarding ceremony for the under 52 kilo category. I think Neil's got these names as well.
Yeah, the bronze medal matches, the bronze medals, should I say, in the under 52 kilograms. Annabelle Urani of France, Odette Gafrida of Italy, the two bronze medalists, and President of the International Judo Federation, Mr. Marius Visa, presenting the prizes.
I like Annabelle Urani's hair. It's got those two minute little bunches, left and right. Well,
silver medal, Natalia Kozutina of Russia. But what a good performance from Nakamura Misato, current world champion, and she just kept her balance. It was an ashiwaza, a foot sweep that led into it, and she just took her over and directly into the Yoko Shiho Gatame. Kozutina did well to avoid it. It was a wazari scored for the ashiwaza. Look at the drive she gets. Double stab, Diashi Barai, Yoko Shiho Gatame. She knew exactly where she was, and Kozutina wasn't coming out of it. You know, I'm looking at the sombreros, and I'm just
here
thinking,
we go.
well, I remember being on the roster one time. We got the biggest cups. We were in Poland, and we received the biggest trophies you could ever see.
What about your World Championship medal? It was as big as your chest.
Coming back on the aeroplane was an absolute nightmare. We just, where do you put a cup that is as big as you?
Have you ever seen a medal as big as the one that you got in Mastery?
Nearly broke my neck.
It was a plate. Now the national anthem of Japan. Nakamura, for me, is looking really dangerous.
Yes,
nobody's a shoo-in, are they? But she's looking dangerous.
Well, like you said, different event, I have to say, and I keep saying it time and time again. It is a different event, the Olympic Games. It's gone awry, hasn't it, for her both times. Nakamura, gold medal here. Kazutina, second. Urani and Gafrida for the bronzes. And Nakamura for the Olympic Games, well, we'll see when she gets there, you know, because that's what will tell the story.
We got the medal matches in the under 57 kilo category coming up now. And the first of these features Karakash Hedvig of Hungary. She's up against Catherine Beauchemin-Pinard of Canada. Well, all the Canadians on the edge of their seats now.
I know one in particular on the end, if she's awake. A little bit different in England, of course. But Caracas, 2-0 down against Beauchemin-Pinard, actually. World rankings not too far apart from each other. 14 for Caracas, Beauchemin-Pinard 10. Certainly, though, possibility of a world ranking for both of them.
The referee in the middle for this one is Mr. Wang Goqiao of China. His friends call him Goqiao because that's his name. Sorry.
What do his enemies call him?
Sorry about that.
Caracas in white, representing Hungary. Straight onto the sleeve there, pinning the sleeve down. We see that a lot. A lot of Sodi Sudakomigoshes from the sleeve grip, especially with the ladies, I have to say, although it is with the men as well. Well, almost turned her there, Caracas.
There's another fighter that could be in the mix. Beauchemin-Pinard. She hasn't stopped her rise up the ladder, has she?
No, she hasn't, and always there and round about. But Caracas as well, and she's going to have to be careful here. But Beauchemin-Pinard, just a couple of drops. She's just one drop off her. I was going to say off a penalty.
That was going to be one of those sayings like one brick short of a load, and you know.
I'm not going to say she looks hot anymore. That's definitely one. Very hot, very warm in this Lopez Mateo Sports Centre, I can tell you.
You're going to be the one to deal with Mrs. Adams on return. Single Shido picked up by Beauchemin-Pinard. Migashi as well. Neat little effort. Just brings Beauchemin-Pinard into that area that Karakash enjoys, although not as much as she had done in the previous cycle. She really was known for Newaza, and then just seemed to disappear for her. I don't know why.
You see the concentration on their faces. And considering it is that hot in this stadium as well, you know, the athletes out there, world-class athletes fighting world-class people. So we haven't really seen people struggling that much.
Well, if Shikalizada can go for 5 minutes.
Well, exactly, you know, so a good indication really on level of fitness.
But Neil indicated earlier the numbers of high quality fighters that are here. We've got the best in the world. There are a few people missing from each of the categories, but basically this is the world's best on display here. And we've seen some nice judo.
Yeah, it's been a mixture as well, hasn't it, of tactical judo, judo to win the match, and then we've seen some good ippon judo as well.
What were they taking away that second penalty from Beauchemin-Pinard? It's always a tricky one for the referee in the middle when he's been given an instruction to cancel something. He's trying to concentrate on what's happening at the same time. He's got to point to the penalty area, cancel that, and try and keep in control of what's happening in the middle.
Just one penalty in it. Boschman Pinard just down. 1 minute 10 to go.
Nicholas Gill in the coach's chair for Boschman Pinard. No problems there because they're both French speakers.
Two-time Olympic medalist Nicholas Gill, and a world silver medalist as well. Doing a great job with the Canadian team. Really is doing a great job. Well prepared, and he concentrated on the youngsters. Knew exactly what he was doing.
Peter Tonks for Karakas Hedvig, Hungarian. Inside the last minute then, 50 seconds left to go. Single Shido. It's not over yet.
So now's the time for advice from the coaches. This is when they should be shouting, when they're tying their belts up, a little bit of break in the action. When they're actually fighting each other, they have to be quiet.
It's up to Karakas here to make something happen.
Well, they're loaded up now. Somebody could go here.
Yeah.
Almost. Karakas just come in for the Uranagi. Now on the attack here. Boschman Pinard is not going to be allowed to get up from here, I don't think.
He's going to risk it. There's only 18 seconds left to go.
Looking for the Jujigatami roll. She's not hooked in enough. Not onto the arm enough, Karakas. But manages to waste valuable seconds. 7 seconds left on the clock.
That's not going to happen now. Sorry, I was saying that it was Karakas that had to make something happen. It was Boschman Pinard that was the Shido down. And
Yeah, just manages to hold off, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Wasted quite a few seconds there with that little groundwork exchange. 2 penalties in the end, though. Did it?
Disappointment for the Canadian, Boschman Pinard, but I wouldn't lose any sleep about it. Again, it's somebody who's come in here, finished 5th place at the World Masters. Don't look too badly at that. It's not a bad result. Karakas it is who takes a bronze. Her face is also bruised.
Well, it really is a physical combat sport, isn't it? Our sport.
We've got a second bronze medal contest coming up now. Kim Jun-di of South Korea faces Lien Chen-ling of Chinese Taipei. Lien it was who famously saw off Matsumoto Kaori, the Olympic champion, world champion, this morning. Oh well.
Well, just look at that. How many head-to-heads they've had. The 8th. This is the 9th time they've fought. It's 4 matches each here. Kim Jun-di of Korea, Lien Chen-ling of Chinese Taipei, and yeah, it's 4 each. So how is this going to run?
The man in the middle for this one, Vincent Drouot of France, the referee here. Yeah, Kim Jun-di, when she throws, she's technically really beautiful to watch. She's got really, really nice throwing skills when they come off. But she can get wrapped up in gripping battles and things that just, leave her in a bad position.
Saying that, big Ashiwaza there from Kim Jun-di, and almost gets a score immediately off the bat there. Well, I'm impressed with Lien as well. Lien Chen-ling, she's really upright. I like her
Love
judo.
that stance, yeah.
And you said that she's the training partner of Matsumoto.
That's right.
Yeah. So in Japan.
Best friends. What are friends for? knock you out of the World Masters. That's what they're for. Jundi picked up a penalty. Kim Jundi picked up a penalty there. I should give her a full name.
Well, it's left to left here, so they're finding it difficult to find a way into the centre of the body. And I'm suspecting that that's the way it goes, because they just tempted to wrap round that outside leg. And I wouldn't be surprised if Soto didn't decide most of the contest.
Both fighters pick up penalties. Vincent Drouet is not hanging around here, is he? He wants to see some action. Trying to encourage them into action by saying, hey, come on, let's get on with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the theory, isn't it? That it just says, right, okay, we want you to attack now, and if you don't, then I'm going to penalise you out of it. But, of course, we don't want to see them penalised completely out of it. We want them to attack.
It hasn't worked yet. Another penalty picked up by Lien, this time evening things
each.
up. Yeah.
It's all evens between the two of them again.
That was amateur. That was really amateur.
Well, Lien just ducked underneath there. You're not allowed to do that. You can't duck underneath the high hand. You're not allowed to duck underneath any grip. And she got an immediate Shido, a second one within about 10 seconds. One more for Lien, and she will be disqualified out of this match.
And she just gifted the advantage to Kim Jundi. And if Kim Jundi's clever, you know, 2 or 3 attacks here to put Lien behind as far as the attacks are concerned, and that'll be it.
Well, I think it's going to be it now, because neither one of them are attacking. If you give a Shido each.
Yeah, it's a Shido each. Yeah, nothing happened. And so you gifted the contest away. There's no need to look surprised, you know, and Vincent Drouet is perfectly right in looking at her as if to say, but you didn't do anything. I can't help you out any more than I already have. You're ducking underneath, you're negative gripping, you're not attacking. What's the point?
Well, exactly. I mean, a gift for the Korean.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Lien Chenlin worked so hard to get to that medal match and then committed not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 errors. There was nothing left. So, an unfortunate damp final, damp bronze medal contest. However, we hold out hope for the final. And we've got the final coming up now. And it features Dorjsuren Sumia of Mongolia. She's up against Helene Rossovaux of France. It'll be Dorjsuren in the white judogi, Rossovaux in blue.
Well, again, with these two, they've met 5 times before. Dorjsuren 4-1 up. So I would think that from a psychological point of view, she'll have a massive advantage here over Rossovaux. Rossovaux, though, has something to fight for here. She has an Olympic place, possibly. She's having a real head-to-head, isn't she, with her teammate.
Autumn Pavia.
Yeah, Pavia. Not so sure that she's going, and well, Rossovaux, if she wins the World Masters.
And the other thing is, if she overturns, there are 2 things that she, 3 things here, Neil, 3 things. 1, she could win the World Masters. 2, she could defeat the #1 seed. 3, she can overturn that, not overturn, but close the gap in that 4-1 head-to-head, which would be a tremendous signal, given that Dorjsuren is going to the Olympic Games for Mongolia and is the #1 seed. You beat the #1 seed at the World Masters, to whom you've lost 4 times before, and you must be showing something that you've got things right.
Well, it's saying that, and it's Dorjsuren straight away dominating the sleeve. So is she going to commit here? Just looking for the way in, Dorjsuren. She's looking for the drop. Sianagi. Rossovaux just a little bit nervous in there. The grips are not what she wants. Left against right. And you might think, well, who has the advantage of left against right? It's against opposite. But 70% advantage to the left-hander. More left-handers than there, more right-handers than there are left-handers. That means they get more matches against the opposite than right-handers do against lefties. I hope that makes sense. I think I explained it right.
I understand perfectly, given that I'm a right-hander, or was anyway. So, always difficult when you come up against a left-handed fighter.
Well, and of course, the fact that left-handed fighters adapt a lot better than right-handers. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And the reason being that they have to. Most things are set out for right-handers completely. Left-handers have to adapt to be able to make that work. And yeah, it's a strange one.
What I understand to be the case is that right-handers tend to concentrate on their right-handed techniques, whereas left-handers tend to develop the right side. You know, there's a real imbalance between right and left. Right up, she's gone over there for a score.
Well, that was a massive Cianagi there, wasn't it? And a Yuko scored there. Dorsaen right the way through the middle there of the legs. Yeah, absolutely. And you're dead right. It was, again, adapting to the right-hander. And she's going to do it again as well. She's going to go right the way underneath there. That grip from Rossevaux not doing her any favours.
When she had that grip at the top there, 2 attacks would have left Dorsaen looking overly defensive. At least she could have drawn something from it. And there she goes again.
Starting to open up now,
yeah.
Dorsaen. Not number 1 seed for nothing. The most consistent in the category.
If Rossevaux could have heard any of those things that we were talking about, she would realize just how pivotal this match is. This is not like any other match. This could really decide it. Go for it. Go for it.
Well, I think that's what she was trying there, just trying the Ouchi into the Uchimata. We're going to see the Sora Kamigoshi there, went right the way between the legs.
Good push at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Drove off the back leg.
Yeah. Oh, nice Ouchigari driving there, but couldn't finish. Dorsaen just managed to turn her body and keep her balance.
Second penalty for Dorsaen. She has to attack the last minute and drop. Cianagi's going to do it. On the other side this time.
Just unsettling Rossevaux, who may have felt that she would have been the first to attack, but it was Dorsaen who unsettled things and put in that attack. Half a minute left to go. It's not going to happen.
No, I think you're right. I think the last 30 seconds is just going to work its way out. She needs a big score now.
And she's just looking she's just looking a little ragged, you know,
yeah.
Untidy now. And look at Dorsaen, unfazed by that Ouchigari attack. The last one had her hopping off and avoiding it, and within 40 seconds, no problem. Power's gone, drained, and now
just a little look up at the clock there, just watching it tick away. Dorsaen's going to win this. Mongolia will get their first gold medal. Well, it's interesting. We were talking about which countries will be happiest. Of course, Japan with their 2 gold medals. Mongolia, they've got a gold, silver and a bronze. Korea, a gold and 2 bronzes. And France, 2 silvers and a bronze. So it's 3 medals, and you've got to be happy with that, haven't you, out of 5 categories.
The big judo nations, and I think Azerbaijan out there, you know, they came up with a couple of medals. Nijat Shikalizada and Orkan Safarov. Peter Seisenbach will be happy tonight. Put his feet up.
There was the Sianagi from Dorsteren, right the way between the legs, and the drive that she gets off the legs.
Right into our camera. Right, we've got the awarding ceremony for the men in the under 66 kilo category. I think Neil's got the names of the medal winners all ready to go. And Davdoj Tumukeleg has made an appearance to receive his medal, despite the fact that he had some heavy strapping on his arm earlier on, but he's there on the podium. Here's Neil.
It was a good decision, wasn't it, not to fight, I think. Bronze medals then go to Golan Polak of Israel. Niet Shikhalizada of Azerbaijan gets the other bronze. Good performance from him. Quite impressed with his condition. I thought it was better than I've seen it at a lot of competitions.
Yeah, I agree. Good sign for him.
Davdoj Tumukeleg, silver medal, didn't actually fight the final. Couldn't because of his arm.
But he's got some mobility there. That's a really great sign. When that is straight and it's stiffened up, you know, you've got weeks there. So maybe just, you know, not as bad as we originally thought, and at least that's a small mercy then.
Gold medalist then Ann Ball of Korea, the current world champion, now the World Cup, World Masters champion.
He
Good performance.
Looks slightly embarrassed, doesn't he?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it was almost, yeah, well, here I am again. Well, I'm sure that Davdoj will be thinking another couple of months down the line, this is going to be a different ball game.
Yeah, you can stand here. Now the national anthem of South Korea. Well, the athletes get a chance to have a picture with the VIPs, or it could be the other way around. The VIPs get a chance to have a picture with the athletes. Shikhalizada and Polak were the bronze medalists. Tumukeleg, Davdoj took the silver, and then it was Ann Ball, South Korean, taking the gold. Now we've got some highlights before we come to the last awarding ceremony, the under 57 kilos. So we've got that one to come, yeah?
Still one more to come. Under 57 kilos medal ceremony. And that will be the end then of our first day here in Guadalajara. What a day it's been.
Some of the faces in action today. Kim Won-jin there, and you can see the cuts and bruises across his chest. That's a nice guy. Walid Kaya made a mark here. Gave us some excitement, didn't he, in his contest with Dashdavar Amatuvshin.
Well, our sport really is all about, isn't it, Ippon adapting to certain situations, and that's what we've seen all the way through the day. Some tactical play, some massive Ippons. We've seen it all.
It was Orkan Safarov catching Vincent Limar of France. That was another good contest. I enjoyed that. That was a good matchup.
Well, you can see it from that angle there. He quite clearly lands first. Safarov, good winner, worthy winner.
Annabelle Urani closing in on her place for Rio in 2016. Just a while ago it sounded like that was forever. A couple of months away now.
It's getting closer and closer, isn't it? It really is. Rio de Janeiro is in everybody's blood here, and everybody can feel it. You can feel the tension with the athletes. And the excitement, I have to say, because it is an exciting thing. Fighting at Olympic Games is something very, very different.
Neat little piece of Ashiwaza from Nakamura with that counter, Ashiwaza to Ashiwaza. I didn't see that the first time round. I only saw her go over, but didn't realize it was that neat. Right, we come now to the awarding ceremony for the women in the under 57 kilo category. The athletes are lined up at the far end of the competition hall. Here's Neil with the medal winners.
Well, 2 bronze medals in the under 57 kilos. Hedvig Karakas of Hungary, Kim Jan-di of Korea. Kim Jan-di, the number 2 seed. Karakis 14, but that's going to change with this medal. I think that possibly it could put Karakas up there roundabout for an Olympic seeding. Silver medal goes to Rossevaux of France, but gold medal, Doseren Sumia of Mongolia. What a performance from her. So after day 1 here in the World Masters here in Guadalajara, we've seen some amazing judo. Many of the top fighters using this event as an Olympic warm-up, some trying to get into the top 8. The medals all over. Japan just ahead with 2 gold medals, Mongolia with 1 gold, Korea with 1, Azerbaijan with the other. All to fight for tomorrow, 4 categories still to come. So join Sheldon and I both at the very same time tomorrow. So from both of us, until then, it's goodbye for now.
Are presented by the Vice President of the International Judo Federation and President of the Pan American Judo Confederation. Hace entrega de los sombreros el vicepresidente de la Federación Internacional. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Mongolia.
Damas y caballeros, pongámonos de pie para el himno nacional de Mongolia.
Thank you.
Gracias.
And now it's time for a picture with the VIPs and the athletes.
Y ahora la fotografía oficial.
Once again, congratulations to all the athletes. It was a brilliant first day. Tomorrow we will start at 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. We will start with the first fights. Thank you, everybody.
Felicidades de nueva cuenta a todos los atletas. Los invitamos el día de mañana para presenciar el segundo día de competencias del World Judo Masters Guadalajara 2016 a las 11 a.m. Gracias y buenas tardes.